Introducing Home. Home is a 3D community for PlayStation 3. It's an interactive virtual space where users meet up, hang out, and explore a connected world. It's free of charge and available directly from the PlayStation 3 cross-media bar.
PlayStation Home. Why now? Why not a year ago?
Why now? Okay, well, GDC is a fantastic opportunity for us to communicate with a very important part of our community, which is the game developers and game creators. So we wanted to take this opportunity to share what we were doing with Home, get them excited about the possibilities and opportunities of creating content for Home, and also to share it with the world at the same time. So I'm really pleased that we were able to do that here at GDC in such a high-profile way, and so far the reaction has been fantastic.
Wouldn't it have been nice to have that already set for launch with PlayStation 3, to have Home as a foundation for the online experience?
It's a good question. I think that last year it was all about hardware, it was all about launches, it was all about release dates, it was all about price point. So I think, as you've seen, Home is quite a different approach, it's quite a sophisticated approach, and that if we had tried to include Home in the message at the same time as all that other stuff, I think it would have been difficult to clearly communicate what Home is about. In this environment, we're more able to do that. You know, we can do that much better, we can do that much more clearly, and we can get everybody clearly sharing our vision. My hope is that every PlayStation 3 user is part of Home, but I know that that's not going to be practical. Any connected PS3 user can easily download Home and they can try it out, but I think that some users who are perhaps more interested in the media functionality of PlayStation 3, photos or music or movies, may want to use just the cross-media bar, and I completely understand that, and I do understand that navigating a 3D character in a rich, detailed 3D world is not going to be for every single user. But I believe that it represents a huge chunk of our users who will be very excited by the possibility of Home and what that means for their socialization, for their communication, customization, and being able to live in this great 3D space that is Home. Well, I'm delighted that we're finally able to bring PlayStation 3 to Europe, and obviously it's sad that we had to delay, and we regret that we had to delay, but the European consumer is going to get a great offering. They're going to get more hardware. We're shipping over 1 million units into the European market, which is more than we've ever done before for PS1 or PS2. So it's a fantastic achievement logistically and from a supply point of view. There'll be more games available at launch for PlayStation 3 in Europe than there were in Japan or in the US, and I believe the best games will be there. Having MotorStorm as a launch title is a fantastic achievement for us in Europe. There'll be more offerings on the PlayStation Network, there'll be more content to download, there'll be more trailers to check out, there'll be more playable demos, there'll be more games that you can buy from the PlayStation Network. So I believe that the total offering is going to be absolutely what the European consumer wants, and I can't wait for March 23rd.
What do you think will drive the success of PlayStation 3 up to the levels of PlayStation 2 after that?
I think it's a combination of factors. I think it's having the best games, the greatest playable experiences on the platform, whether they come from PlayStation Network or whether they come from Blu-ray disc. I think it's about having the industry-defining, industry-leading network features that we have with Home and with the PlayStation Network functionality being available free of charge to all users. I think it's about having the continued power of Blu-ray disc as a movie format. As that becomes more and more popular around the world, there'll be more movies, there'll be more standalone Blu-ray disc players sold, which is a positive thing because it just makes the Blu-ray disc economy bigger or ecosystem bigger. And we saw this with PlayStation 2 actually, that after the launch of PS2, the amount of racks available or dedicated to DVD in the retail stores tremendously changed. It increased tremendously. And I think that the other features that will drive PlayStation 3 are the further upgrades that we'll make to the firmware. As we've seen with PSP, we have a policy of constant improvement and will continue to add value and features to the system. all of which combined means that PlayStation 3 has the best offering for any kind of digital entertainment, be it web browsing, gameplay, network functionality or media functionality.
What do you think is like the main competitive difference that will put PlayStation Network over the top of Xbox Live? Because a lot of people have said, okay, when it comes to online, Microsoft are leading. How will you leapfrog them this generation?
Well, I think you've seen over the last couple of days that we've made some very significant announcements about the enhancements to our network offerings with services like Home. We'll continue to improve the foundation functionality of PlayStation Network that will empower all games with great features. And I am convinced that we will offer the best network offering, whether it be content to download or ways to play, ways to communicate, and ways to socialize. And I think that will be on PlayStation 3.
What's your the thing that has you most excited about the upcoming year on PlayStation 3? One thing.
That's a great question. It's more of a statement than a single answer that last year was all about hardware. This year is all about software, and software in the most entertaining and dynamic form, with embedded network functionality, with communication, with commerce, with collaboration, cooperation. Things like Little Big Planet, I think, are brilliant examples of where social gaming can go, where users can collaborate. I think Home is a perfect example of where a 3D social network service can evolve from a very beautiful, very detailed, rich 3D avatar experience. And I believe that the games that we will deliver on disc for PlayStation 3 will be absolutely the best experiences you can get anywhere on any system, and totally validate anybody's reason for buying a PS3.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure. Nice to talk to you. Thank you.